Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for coming out very much. I'm French Hill. I'm the congressman from the 2nd Congressional District, and I'm delighted to be here in MacArthur Park and being surrounded by the team of people in this city that are dedicated to ending the violence that we have in our city. And we are so gratified by all the work of our nonprofit organizations, our pastors, our communities, our taekwondo, wonderful people to declare victory over violence. And so I want to start out and welcome everybody and invite Donna Terrell from Fox 16 up, and we're going to talk about the progress that we're making in bringing our community together in our effort to achieve victory over violence. Donna?
Well, first of all, I just want to say I am delighted to be here, and I am so happy to see all of you. This truly proves that we are a united front in fighting victory over violence. And I think we're making a lot of headway. In fact, as of late, we haven't seen as much violence. We want to keep it that way, but we can't stop. I want to take this opportunity to welcome Tristan Wilkerson. He will be your MC this afternoon. Tristan?
Thanks, Donna. I very much appreciate that. As Donna said, I am Tristan Wilkerson. I am an organizer by trade, but I also have the privilege of leading up in the interim the Social Justice Institute at Philander Smith College. Hold it up closer. Is it working? Is it on? You good? Okay. All right. So, as Donna mentioned, I'm going to MC today's press conference. Just want to say that as we prepare to celebrate on the anniversary of the integration of Central High, we want to celebrate how far our state has come, but we recognize the challenges that still remain. One of those challenges is, of course, the ongoing issue of violence and homicides here in our city. Unfortunately, we're on pace for near record levels of murders right here in Little Rock, and we want to commend the city and the mayor and the police department for their response and their efforts to combat the crisis. However, they cannot do it alone. So it takes a community to step up and get involved. That's why we're here today. Over the last couple of months, we've united nearly 100 groups, organizations, and businesses in the city to open the lines of communication, share resources, and create goals that ultimately put us in a position to declare victory over violence. This won't be easy, and of course, it won't happen overnight. We must be all in together for the long haul. And so first up, I want to introduce one of those programs that are going to help us in the long term solve the problem that we're dealing with. That program is the OK program. It's a mentoring program that empowers African American boys to transform their communities. And I want to invite Savion Lambert to join me here and tell us a little bit about that program and how you can get involved to help make a difference. Savion?
Good afternoon. My name is Savion Lambert. I'm a junior at Hall High School. I'm here to tell you how my story starts off. At the age of 10, I was taken out of my home and sent to foster care. And a couple weeks later, my cousin, Miss Davietta Flowers, came and got me out of foster care and took me into her house. And then when I was 11 years old, my dad had got shot by a police officer on 12th and Woodrow, right down the street from where I stayed. And it really impacted me that I didn't want to talk to nobody at all. Like, didn't want to talk to security, police officers, anyone. But she invited Sergeant Willie Davis to come to my school and talk to me about the situation. And he had told me he had an OK program. And I asked him about what was it about, and he was like, it's about police officers and black young men and other young males. And I was like, I did not want to go. And my cousin, Miss Flowers, she made me go the first 2 kicking sessions, and I didn't really want to go. And then after that, I just started going, and ever since then, I've been in the program, and it changed my life. And I wouldn't even imagine my life without Sergeant Davis and Officer Turner. Like, them is my heroes right there. And father figures, too. But I love the OK program. It really helps me and help others. Well, thank you.
Let's give Savion another round of applause. So Savion's a great example of what it looks like when we come together and we work together to help each other, lift each other up, and to celebrate one another so that we can overcome some of the ills that we face on a day-to-day basis. Another opportunity to get involved is going to be on September 23rd. We're hosting a day of service to honor the Little Rock Nine. There will be service projects across the city by various organizations. You can sign up right now at volunteerar.org. That's volunteerar.org. Just look for the new Victory Over Violence section. We want to thank the Arkansas Department of Human Services for their volunteer effort, and we also want to commend Mayor Mark Stodel and the City of Little Rock for their efforts in the Little Rock for Life program. As you all know, the mayor's rolled out a program to try to address some of the ills that we face, and it's important that we all be aware of what's happening and try to get involved as much as possible. To the Little Rock Police Department, we're committed to providing you all the support we can. We want to thank them for their partnership throughout this process. We want to thank Chief Kenton Buckner for all the work that he's done to try to help be responsive to the issues that we're facing here in Little Rock. And with that, I'd like to bring Chief up. Chief, are you here?
Yes, sir. Thank you. I'd like to thank everyone for your attendance here today. It's very, very important that we keep this energy going and remain engaged. Special thanks out to Congressman Hill and the work that he's done, Mr. Poore with the Little Rock School District, Sergeant Davis and what they continue to do and illuminate with the OK program, and most importantly, the bridge from meetings to action that KARK is attempting to build. I think that our community does an excellent job of illuminating the issues that are going on in our community, but I think that we all agree that we have opportunities for improvement as it relates to action once we've talked about those things. I'm looking forward to the 10 initiatives that KARK has identified that gives you an opportunity to actually engage in some of these issues, and if there's something that's not on the board that you think is dear to your heart that needs to be done, that's an opportunity for you to create that program. So we've met, we've marched, we talked, and now it's time to get to work, and I greatly appreciate what you're doing for our community and our Little Rock Police Department.
We want to thank Chief Buckner for really being community-minded in the work that he's doing to support our communities. It's really critical that we have great relationships with our law enforcement, and it takes a community to build and develop those relationships. So kudos to you, Chief, and thanks again for your work. So let's talk a little bit about neighborhood associations who are also at the table to help us do some of the work that we've been looking to do. In Little Rock here, we're working directly with neighborhood association presidents and city directors in pinpoint areas of town that need assistance to ensure that all parts of that town have the assistance they need in place. All right, so we want a record turnout from the neighborhood associations on October 3rd for National Night Out. That's on October 3rd. We're asking everyone to dedicate time to participate in the event. We can guarantee you there'll be way more than 20 events across the city, but National Night Out we want you to make note of. We recognize the need to support our schools and make sure that they have the support that they need, and in many cases that means creating non-traditional partnerships to engage and motivate students inside and outside of the classroom. We want to invite the Little Rock School Superintendent Michael Superintendent Poole to come by to the podium now, and share a few words about what he's doing with the Little Rock School District to help alleviate the issues that we're dealing with as well.
You know, the big thing about what Little Rock School District is doing is working with everybody behind me. Chief Buckner, that's a guy who puts his words into action. He's actually committed to having one of his police officers help train future law enforcement officers as a part of our Metro campus. By his involvement, we've doubled the number of students that want to become police officers. Now think about that as a way to have victory over violence, and I thank Chief Buckner. Brian Marsh of Goodwill Industries behind me, but right there in the forefront of leading an effort to train young people who missed out somewhere, somehow, never graduated. 20 to 30-year-olds having the chance to go back and get their diploma. That's real stuff that's impactful. Had to graduate, that's the same type of concept that we got to have in the mentality, whether it's with Brian Marsh on a 20 to 30-year-old, but what we go do to make sure every young person thinks about, I've got something that I want to go towards. Congressman Hill behind us and right with us in terms of supporting. Do you realize in a partnership this week, as a result of his efforts, he said, isn't there a way that we can engage young people so that middle school children have someone that cares about them, someone that's going to make a difference? And so he said, can't we identify those young people that aren't in athletics or performing arts or in a boys' girls club or an after-school church event? And we identified 100 kids. K-Arc and Fox 16, Donna Terrell and Mr. Walker and a whole host of the staff, Austin Kellerman, made it happen. And in 10 hours, here's what it got accomplished. 10 hours, 120 volunteers ready to go be mentors in the schools week to week for our young people. So as we think and deal about issues within our community that aren't quite right, let's also not forget what is right and build on that momentum. I see a guy right here who's at every one of these things showing what his kids are about in terms of discipline, in terms of his association with giving kids the martial arts. And I thank you, because you're making a difference. So Little Rock School District is proud to be a part of the whole Victory Over Violence. We're proud to be a part of Had To. And the final group I want to give credit to is our city. The city of Little Rock with Dana Doucette and the mayor and Bruce Moore in terms of their association with all these events of trying to make things happen. So we thank them and thank you all for being out here today.
Thank you, Superintendent Poore, for that excellent update. So we're happy to have our HBCUs present. I myself, working at Philander Smith College, I'm happy to be here as your MC. We've got to continue to promote college as an opportunity. It's one thing to educate at K through 12, and we're doing the best we can with what we've got, and we're going to do better. But we've also want to make sure we prepare our kids for college, right? We want to make sure we give them every opportunity to be successful at the next level. In promoting our HBCUs, not everyone may choose a particular path, but we want to make sure that we at least create the opportunity. So we invite you to join the conversation on education and the effect of violence has on education in Little Rock at a panel conversation at the Clinton School of Public Service on September 21st. All right, September 21st, a conversation on how gun violence impacts education at the Clinton School of Public Service. One other issue is the cycle of getting people out of prison and returning back home. We want to work to fix that. So on that note, our house, Goodwill, the City of Little Rock are launching a Rock Reentry Program thanks to a $1.2 million grant that's going to be a great help in making sure that we have the support we need to our returning citizens and support our formerly incarcerated community. So kudos to that. Two more important dates to note, October 2nd and October 5th. We're going to have, because of that, thanks to that grant money, our friends at Goodwill are hosting a second chance job fair for folks who are coming back home or have criminal records or a criminal past. And so let's make sure we support that October 2nd and 5th. Let's come make sure our folks have a chance to work and contribute back to society. All right. Lastly but not least, our churches. Our churches are on a lot of the corners, and they hold us down in a lot of different ways. They play a huge role in keeping our families together and on the right track. On Thursday, we presented the Victory Over Violence mission to 65 pastors this past Thursday, and that's just the beginning of a long-term conversation to make sure that our churches are anchored in what we're trying to do to rebuild our city, to overcome the violence and the disastrous murder rates. And so I want to invite to talk more about that effort, Logan Bloom of Arkansas for Christ, right here at the podium to share a little bit more about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I am excited to announce a Victory Over Violence prayer rally that's going to be scheduled for October 9th. It's a Monday night at 7 p.m. That's going to be held at War Memorial Stadium. This is a citywide invitation to every church in Little Rock to come together and start with prayer. We're going to stand before the Lord and pray for peace in Little Rock, and we're also going to commit as churches, as integral parts of the community, to put our faith into action. This invitation is going to every church in Little Rock. It's going to include Governor Asa Hutchinson, and we're so thankful to have the support of Congressman French Hill. And I cannot stress enough the significance of moments like this where our church has a chance to come together and present a regional response and to be a positive force in the community to stand with Victory Over Violence and see this change really carried throughout our community. So again, it's a Victory Over Violence prayer rally, Monday, October 9th at 7 p.m. at War Memorial Stadium. I hope you'll join me there.
Thanks, Logan. If I may say so myself, the church matters. The church absolutely matters. And we want to make sure that our faith community is a big part of bringing our communities together so that we can do the good work and the hard work of organizing and rebuilding. One more announcement on some of the work that we're doing. There's a summit coming up. I'm going to bring up Representative Fred Allen and talk about that. If you would, please, sir.
First of all, I want to thank each and every one of you all for coming out here and being a part of this today. My name is Fred Allen. I'm State Representative District 30. And one of the things that we're working on is the Mayor Safe Neighborhood Summit. Whenever elderly people call you and tell you they are not feeling safe going to the neighborhood grocery stores at 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock because they're going to the grocery store early that morning. And when elderly people start picking and selecting and going down to decide which street they can go down, I think that's not good for our neighborhood. I grew up in the city of Little Rock. Little Rock is my home, and I want to come back and dedicate my life to serving the people of this community and the people of the state of Arkansas. And we have been working very closely with the city of Little Rock, the mayor's office, Bruce Moore, the police chief, and the OK organization. We have been organizing this summit, and the summit is going to be held on October the 20th and 21st at Second Baptist Church. Now, keep in mind, this is going to be a working summit. So if you're coming just to hear speeches, don't come. But if you come to roll up your sleeves and to work and come up with some solutions, because we know that the city of Little Rock can't do it by themselves. We know that law enforcement can't do it by themselves. It's going to take the entire community working together to build solutions to this problem that we face. Again, the summit is October the 20th and 21st on John Barrow at Second Baptist Church. Thank you all. Look forward to having you all there.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. I think we should all take heed to that call to action. The reality is that there's time out for talk, all right? And it's time for us to roll up our sleeves and go to work and start doing the work of seeing each other and our neighbors, the folks we live next to, the folks we church with, the folks we school with, the folks we work side to side with. We've got to do the real work of organizing and working together to rebuild our communities. And it's critical to get that message out, all right? So we want to talk to people as much as we can and spread the word about the opportunity that this is for us to reset the course. And so what does that look like? That looks like posting on social media, all right? That looks like recruiting new voices to come in and join us at the table. Let people know that we're fed up with the problem, all right? And we want to do something about it. Okay, so the next Victory Walk is going to happen on October 21st. I know I'm throwing out a lot of dates, but I want you to take note. October 21st. The Victory Walk is going to happen right in Wright Avenue. Actually, my church is on Wright Avenue, so I'll definitely be there. We want you to join us, step up outside of your comfort zone, and invite a neighbor to be there on October 21st. And finally, as a group, we want to thank Congressman French Hill. Congressman, we appreciate your leadership, helping to bring us all together, doing the good work of a good congressman. And not making this a partisan issue, but making this a people issue, all right? And that is just what this is, a people issue. And so with that, I'd like to bring up Congressman French Hill for some final remarks.
What I like is that there are too many dates to write down. So those are going to be posted out on a lot of websites, from Department of Human Services volunteer website and our media. We invite our newspapers and our television stations to post these dates, because what that's telling you is that our community is coming together, and it speaks to something I mentioned at our first meeting. In Little Rock, when it comes to doing right, we don't have a money issue, we have a people issue. And I love it that pastors came together last week, over 40 of them, and generated almost 120 volunteers that Dr. Poore talked about. Our Kids Read, which the school district's deeply involved in, had a press conference a couple of weeks ago aiming for 600 volunteers. They've got 450 people reading to our third graders across all of the schools in Pulaski County. So look, government programs aren't what gives hope. People is what gives hope. You know, when you're feeling low, you turn to a friend. And what you see in Little Rock are friends coming together in all of our neighborhoods to help our youth see a future that has hope and bring hope to other people. And we're doing that together as a community. And so I want to thank everybody who's helped put this together. Donna and Austin, Tristan, you all have done an awesome job. You can always count on my support for things that offer a hope to our community. And as we celebrate, as Tristan started out, the 60th anniversary of integration over at Central High School, I want to tell you, your House of Representatives across all 50 states of this country came together 3 days ago, and they voted 390 to 0 to expand the boundary of the national park at Central High School in Little Rock, Arkansas. In Little Rock, we learn from our history, and we don't repeat it, and it's because our citizens care here, and thanks for letting me be a part of it.
Unless there are any further instructions from my boss, that concludes our press conference. We want to encourage everyone again to get involved. This is just the beginning, just the beginning. There are lots of dates out there, lots of opportunity for us to do something about this. If we work together, we can change and rebuild this city for the better. Thank you all. Thank you.